baseman from Virginia Tech, number 3, Christian Martin. Batting third, the first baseman from Georgia, number 24, Charlie Condon.
Yep.
Batting fourth, the left fielder from Princeton,
We're not
number
live on
17,
here yet.
Scott
Did you just
Bandura.
hit live on there?
Batting fifth, the catcher from Mississippi State, number 22,
Good evening, everyone. Welcome inside Whitehouse Field in Harwich, Massachusetts. The Falmouth Commodores set to take on the Harwich Mariners. Game 3 of the Cape League season. I'm Zach Surdenik alongside Venezia and Destiny Sanchez. We're glad you joined us here on the radio this time.
It's a different setup. It's a beautiful field. I really like Whitehouse Field a lot. And, I mean, my goodness, what a beautiful field. The local high school plays here as well. And we're set for the first road game for the Commodores. Should be a good one.
We are. We're excited to see how things go. And before we get to the lineups and first pitch, we're going to send it over to Destiny Sanchez.
Thanks, Zach. A little bit about who's starting on the mound for Falmouth. The left-handed pitcher, Carson Dorsey, out of Gulf Coast State. He had 14 appearances, 7 wins, and only 1 loss with a 2.43 ERA and 99 strikeouts. Some great numbers to come into the Cape. This is his first appearance for the Commodores, and Dorsey is typically a starter at Gulf Coast State, so this is familiar for the sophomore pitcher.
Thank you, Destiny. We are glad to have you here with us all night. As Harwich warming up, we'll quickly take you through the Falmouth Commodores order. Starting at the top for the third straight game, it's Gavin Keelan. He'll play short. Hitting second, playing second, Christian Martin. Charlie Condon in the 3 spot at first. Bandura, Highfill, and Handel. The middle of the order, Eze, Biven, Povey. Rounding things out for the Commodores against Tom Chmielewski out of Princeton.
Yeah, it's good to see Harrison Povey back in the lineup. We saw him pinch run in extra innings yesterday. Excited to see, again, the bottom of the order. Got a lot of good guys down there.
Chmielewski into the windup, delivers. First pitch fouled off by Gavin Keelan, and we are underway at 6:30 on the dot from Whitehouse Field. A beautiful Monday night for baseball, 70 degrees, a little cloudy, but we're underway nonetheless. Keelan had himself a good start to this season at the top of the Commodores order.
Yeah, he's been good. He gets on base a lot. He makes good contact. Love seeing him at shortstop. He's so aggressive being in his primary position like he played at Louisville this past season as a freshman.
Slightly open stance from the left side. Lefty-lefty matchup to get us underway. The runs inside and it brushed Gavin Keelan. He'll earn himself a free pass down to first. And the leadoff man aboard for Falmouth here in the top of the first.
Well, maybe not how you drew it up, but you got a base runner right out of the gate. So Keelan looks to be okay. Just brushed him on the inside. And another base runner for the Commodores early. We haven't seen that yet, getting going in your first opportunity. We'll see what Martin can keep doing here.
Christian Martin digs in, one of 2 straight left-handed hitters for Falmouth at the top of the order. 6 total throughout for Jeff Trundy's squad. Chmielewski, high leg kick from the stretch. Fastball misses low. It's 1-0 to Martin. 3-pitch mix for Chmielewski. Fastball, slider, curveball. He'll start that slider over the heart of the plate, try and break it out, and the curveball is usually the get-me-over for strikes. Open stance. Martin bends the knees, takes a called strike. Evens up the count, 1-1. Keelan being held on at first by Hunter Fitzgerald. Does have pretty good speed, 3-step lead. Chmielewski comes set at the belt. The lefty deals the 1-1 breaking ball, roped out to right. In on a line to make the catch is Scannell for out number 1.
Yeah, pieced that one up real well, did Christian Martin. Just unfortunate right at the right fielder, Scannell. And, you know, that's tough. You keep piecing up the baseball like that, good things are going to happen.
Brings up the big thumper, Charlie Condon. Big presence from the right side, stands at 6'6", out of the University of Georgia. Waves that bat over the right shoulder as he awaits the delivery. Won't get it just yet, though. Chmielewski checking on Keelan, nothing going.
Yeah, Chmielewski, as you mentioned, good to have him, you know, out here. There was, Bostic was going to go, and then they flipped on us and back, so they seem comfortable with the southpaw.
First pitch to Condon, gets away from Hornung behind the plate. Keelan moves on up to second, a runner in scoring position with 1 away for Falmouth. Went off speed and went right between the legs of Hornung. That'll probably go as a wild pitch, though, that allows the runner to move up.
I don't know, Zach. Being a former catcher, I think that one's on me if I'm there behind the dish.
It may be, but the official scorer sees differently. Wild pitch is the call. A called strike on a fastball. Evens up the count to Condon. Couple of hits in game 1 for Charlie Condon, including a double. Just the 1 hit last night came in his second at bat. The 1-1. Breaking ball, chopped foul. Brings the count to 1-2. Keelan runs well. Should be able to score on a ball into the outfield on a base hit. Chmielewski brings himself set. Harwich in the cream-colored uniforms, the navy and red stirrups, navy lettering and numbers with the red trim. Pitch drilled out to right. Scannell going back. He'll make the catch on the run. Keelan moves up. A good strong throw, but it's a little high for King at third. Gavin Keelan over to third base. Go ahead run just 90 feet away, but they'll need a hit from another Princeton Tiger. It's Scott Bandura.
Yeah, not bad. Good piece of hitting. Kind of looked good when he jumped off the bat, Zach. Condon just taking one the other way. He's so good at that, you know, what we've seen so far. We've seen a lot of him on the pull side. You look back at the base hit he had yesterday, the double on opening night into the left center field gap. Smooth swing there, and, you know, if nothing else does a job, moves a base runner over.
Chmielewski back to the windup with the runner at third. Bandura can't catch up to the heater on the first pitch. It's 0-1. These guys very familiar with each other, both in the same class at Princeton. Bandura stands tall, wide open stance from the left side. Angles that bat over the shoulder. Chmielewski lifts the leg. Pitch misses low and in. Evens up the count 1-1. Keelan creeping off the bag at third. It's a very deep backstop here at Whitehouse Field. Anything that gets by Hornung could put Falmouth in front. 1-1 misses in through that curveball. Tried to break it back over the front part of the plate. Couldn't catch the corner. It's 2-1. Infield playing a few steps to the right against the left-handed hitter in Bandura. Hands high, waves the bat over the shoulder. The 2-1. Chopped right back to his foot. Count even 2-2. Chmielewski trying to fight his way through this first inning after hitting the first batter. Keelan's found his way to third, but still standing just there. A 2-2 count awaits Bandura. The pitch. Skied on the left side. King into foul territory towards the Harwich bullpen, and he'll run out of room. Long run, but just got a better look at it.
You got to be careful over there. The bullpen lineup along the left field wall in foul territory. It was almost like, you know, the guy sitting there had to scatter, get out of there. With the charging third baseman giving a look was King, and then you also had Jones crashing in as well. Luckily, everyone's okay.
It's always good to see. It's a deep ballpark here at Whitehouse Field. 400 to dead center, 330 to both foul poles. A lot of room in those gaps. If you can get one out there, you can run for a while. Deep breath from Chmielewski, the 2-2. Breaking ball, popped foul. Bandura once again staying alive.
Yeah, good battle here from Scott. Said he's been swinging the bat real well. He feels good. Kind of a slower start to the season for Scott. I mean, he's hit a lot of cleanup over at Princeton. He says he feels good, though, so we're hoping for one from him here tonight.
Close stance on the mound from Chmielewski. Fastball low and outside, and Bandura's worked the count full. A couple of Tigers giving us a good battle here in the first.
Yeah, I was going to say, these guys are used to each other, obviously, but big pitch here.
The payoff. Reaching for it and slapping it up the middle. Fielded behind the bag, but they're never going to get him. The throw gets away. Bandura will move to second. It's an RBI single for Scott Bandura. Got out in front of an off-speed pitch and just poked it right back up the middle. It's enough to put Falmouth in front early.
Well, we thought it was getting up the middle right away, and it actually did not. It took a second. But nonetheless, I mean, he beat out the throw. It would have been safe anyways. And just like that, the Doors' first team to strike.
It's a single and then an error that allows him to move up to second. In scoring position for Ross Highfill, who takes a fastball for a called strike to start the at-bat. Highfill had the homer yesterday that gave Falmouth its only 2 runs in the first 9 innings. He was the designated hitter a day ago. Now back behind the plate. Takes a curveball, bring the count to 0-2. Falmouth in the black road jerseys. The maroon lettering. The white stripe. Great pants to go with those maroon socks. The 0-2. Ground ball left side. Fielded on a backhand by Culpepper. Throw across the diamond. Gets Highfill by a step, but Falmouth in front. Heading to the bottom of the first. Carson Dorsey to the mound with a lead when we come back.
Fans, thank you for coming out to Whitehouse Field tonight. The Falmouth Commodores and the Harwich Mariners, along with the Cape Cod Baseball League and the NCAA, would like to remind you that Whitehouse Field is a tobacco-free ballpark. Additionally, the Massachusetts Education Reform Act prohibits the use of any tobacco products at Whitehouse Field. We greatly appreciate your assistance in honoring this tobacco-free request. The 99 Restaurant and Pub is proud to be a sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit your local 99 and try their famous colossal lobster rolls piled high on grilled brioche and served hot buttered, or with just the right amount of mayo and celery with fries and coleslaw. The 99, always the real deal. Leading off the bottom of the first inning for Harwich.
Bottom of the first inning, Carson Dorsey steps to the mound to face this lineup. For Harwich, it's Jacob Humphrey, Ali Camarillo, Kalen Culpepper, Kendi Jones, Hunter Fitzgerald, Seaver King, Matt Scannell, Kenny Lavari, Jackson Hornung to round things out. First pitch from Dorsey is a fastball high, and it's 1-0 to Jacob Humphrey.
Well, yeah, it should be good to see Dorsey get on the hill for the first time. We talked about him heading on to Florida State after this. Had a really, really good year at Gulf Coast State. And I'm excited for him. 2022 17th round pick out of the Texas Rangers, decided to go back to school, and now it seemed to have paid off for him.
Fastball catches the outside corner to even up the count. 3-pitch mix for Dorsey. Fastball, slider, changeup. That fastball in the low 90s. Lefty works from the windup against the righty Humphrey. Blows the heater by him, and it's 1-2.
A nice looking pitch there. Good mix from Dorsey. Fastball, slide, change. Good 3 pitches for the left-hander.
The RBI single from Scott Bandura put Falmouth in front in the first. That's where we stand in the bottom half as the fastball stays up. 4 pitches, 4 heaters so far from Dorsey.
Yeah, Zach, we're in an interesting spot here for the broadcast, just off of the right side of the plate. I mean, my goodness, the ball is jumping out of the hands of Dorsey tonight.
Infield playing deep. 2-2, tipped into the glove, strike 3. An early punch out for Carson Dorsey. The leadoff man retired for Harwich.
Went with the heater. I'm telling you, it looks good. I know it's the first inning, but my goodness, the southpaw got one by there, Jacob Humphrey, and he goes back to the dugout.
Now Ali Camarillo out of Cal State Northridge, the Matadors. He's playing second base for Harwich, and he'll hit in the 2-hole again. Steps in from that right side. 6 righties, 3 lefties for Harwich, and it starts with 4 straight right-handed hitters. Dorsey into the windup. Throws the curveball, stays out.
You got to think that's on purpose, right? When you know you're getting a southpaw, you're going to load up the front of the order, the guys you need in big spots to get up early on the left-hander. It's a hitter's advantage when you got the left on right.
And that was the slider, but it looks like it has a little bit of sweeping action as well. Camarillo ropes one out to left. Bandura on the run for out number 2.
Hung up for him. That's going to be a line out right to Bandura. Scott's been doing really well. We saw him as a DH to begin. Then he was in right. Now he's in left. That's the versatility of Bandura. Came over and tracked the ground there nicely. No fly zone out in the outfield for the Doors.
Played every inning this season at Princeton in right field. Moving over to left. Seamless transition so far.
Looks like it.
Kalen Culpepper steps in. Shortstop at Kansas State. First pitch, off speed, stays up. It's 1-0. Infield deep, middle infield playing on the edge of the grass, especially Christian Martin over at second. Holds the bat, waves it over the right shoulder. Breaking ball for a called strike. Dorsey Bends that slider back in to even up the count. Culpepper 1 for 7 to start things off for Harwich. Dorsey into the wind. Goes right back to that slider. This time it gets a little in. Brings the count to 2-1. Slight breeze starting to pick up here as we get into the bottom of the first inning in Harwich. Dorsey gets the sign from Highfill. Stays high and outside on that fastball. Hitters count now to Culpepper. It's 3-1.
Could be good to see early on in the game, working from behind, what Dorsey likes to go to early.
The 3-1 pitch. Outside, ball 4. A 2-out walk to Kalen Culpepper keeps the inning alive for Kennedy Jones.
And this is the guy you got to watch out for, Kennedy Jones. I mean, he's highlighted everywhere. We talked about him in opening the door. He's as dangerous as they come over at North Carolina Greensboro. In 60 games, all of them starts. He was a .355 hitter, 14 doubles, 14 bombs, driven over 40 runs. I mean, this guy's as capable as it gets, and he's hitting cleanup here on Cape Cod. That's pretty good.
Bends the knees in that stance. It's a wide stance from the right side. Dorsey working from the stretch for the first time. Staggers the feet, lifts the leg, and will check back on the runner at first. Culpepper dives back in ahead of the tag from Condon. Runner at first, 2 away. Bottom of the first inning. Falmouth in front, 1-0 on the RBI single from Scott Bandura. Dorsey rocks himself set on the rubber. High leg kick. Delivers fastball low. Highfill keeps it in front.
I'm actually really excited to see Ross back there tonight. We saw Austin Kelly yesterday. Opening day, it was a little lackluster for a lot of the guys defensively, but Ross specifically, a couple pass balls, looked like some miscommunication. It's good to get him back in there today.
The 1-0 from Dorsey. Misses outside with a fastball. It's quickly 2-0. Carson Dorsey trying to find his control once again after a pretty good start to his debut for the Commodores. Rocks himself set, gives a look over at first. Slider runs in, brushes back Kennedy Jones, and it's 3-0. A strikeout, a line out, and then the 2-out walk to Culpepper. Now Jones in front 3-0. Hunter Fitzgerald, big first baseman out of Old Dominion, stands on deck. Couple of looks from Dorsey. The 3-0 is outside, a 4-pitch walk.
Well, Zach, you look at what happened in the previous at-bat to Culpepper. It was behind 3-1, then you walk him 4 consecutive balls here. So, as you mentioned, very, very different outlook than what we saw in the first couple at-bats. And especially with the Doors getting out of the gate early, the offense a little struggle yesterday besides Highfill's 2-run shot. You don't want to give up what you've already gotten here early on. So, big opportunity here for Dorsey to hopefully close the door.
16 pitches, just 5 strikes so far for Carson Dorsey. Now a lefty-lefty matchup with Fitzgerald, and the fastball runs inside. It's 1-0. Carson Dorsey this year at Gulf Coast State, 99 strikeouts to just 29 walks. Was pretty efficient this year in his second year at Gulf Coast State. 1-0, fastball up. It's 2-0.
Yeah, this is 6 consecutive balls. Actually 7 if you go back to the Culpepper at bat. Just not really a good spot you want to be in right now if you're the Commodores. You got to hope your southpaw can maybe find a way to roll a ground ball here and just get back into the dugout.
Slightly open stance from Fitzgerald. Bounces the bat off the left shoulder. 2-0 swinging. Fly ball sinking into center. Long run, a sliding play, and it's brought in by Mike Handel. Bending the glove back to make the play for out number 3. Commodores flash the leather. Get out of the jam unscathed. It's 1-0. Falmouth in front. Head to the second.
Our title sponsor of the 100-year anniversary is Baseball Cloud. Data that tells the whole story. This season, Baseball Cloud pays homage to the past while building the future. Their technology will help tell the story of the next 100 years of Cape Cod Baseball League history, inspiring and exciting the next generation of baseball players and fans. Learn how to bring the most accurate data and analytics to your organization by visiting baseballcloud.com. Cape Cod 5 is proud to be a long-standing supporter of the Cape Cod Baseball League and its contribution to the local economy as a treasured summer attraction. Cape Cod 5 is a community bank serving customers throughout Cape Cod, the islands, and southeastern Massachusetts. Founded in 1855, the bank's mission is to enrich the lives of those it serves while contributing to the health and vitality of its communities. Cape Cod 5 provides a full range of banking solutions, including personal and business banking, residential mortgages, investment management, and trust services. Leading off for the Commodores in the top of the second inning, the center fielder from Fairfield, number 7, Mike Handel.
Mike Handel just made the play in the field. Now he'll step in to lead off the top of the second against Tom Chmielewski, who fires a fastball for a called strike. 1-0 Falmouth in front, and it's Handel, Eze, and Biven to lead things off. Fouls it back, and it's quickly 0-2.
Yeah, Handel here behind early. He's worked some good at bats, still looking for that first hit on Cape Cod this summer. Only 2 strikeouts in 8 appearances. You know he's trying up there.
Lefty brings the 0-2. It's a slider in the dirt. Handel lays off.
And to go back to Handel, you know, he's worked a lot of good 2-2 full count kind of at bats, and they just haven't gone his way yet. But just as capable as he is defensively, he's got a great bat.
King playing well off the bag at third. Handel lays off another outside breaker, evens up the count 2-2. Everybody a couple of steps towards the right side with Handel at the dish. Outfield playing him straight up, though. Not much wind at the moment. 2-2 count, top of the second. The lefty delivers. Ground ball left side. Culpepper fields on the run. Throw is just in time to get Handel. Was sprinting down that line. But the arm of Culpepper beats him by half a step.
Yeah, Culpepper getting a workout between the last punch out or put out with Highfield grounding out to him on sort of a close throw. That one a little bit closer. It looked like he was just slapping one the other way there, trying to just get some wood on the bat. Not too much of a contested ground ball there, except for having to get the throw off quickly. Handel's got wheels, one away.
Michael Eze takes a called strike on the outside edge. Chmielewski finding himself ahead in the count quite a bit so far in these first 2 innings. Trying to work from behind. His teammate got the best of him back in the first. Scott Bandora's RBI single to put the Doors in front. Eze shoots one on the right side. Camarillo charges. Sidearm throw just barely gets the Commodores' third baseman. Couple of close plays. A nice job by the Harwich infield. 2 up, 2 down in the top of the second.
A lot of ground balls in this one so far. I mean, you look back at Bandura's base hit that he got, and now 3 consecutive putouts on the ground. So the Doors going quickly here in the second.
Brings up Tucker Biven, designated hitter tonight, takes a fastball for a called strike. All 3 hitters in this second inning starting with that same scenario.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tucker specifically, 10 appearances in the box at Louisville this past season. He was pitching on opening day. Here he is in the box.
Chops one back up the middle. Culpepper fields, throws across his body in time to retire Biven. 3 batters, 3 ground outs. So 1-2-3, top of the second for Falmouth. We head to the bottom half. Carson Dorsey right back to the bump on the other side of the break.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. In-person and online classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in accounting, criminal justice, education, nursing, and our new 100% online MBA, visit curry.edu. The Harwich Mariners are proud to partner with Franklin Sports as the official batting gloves of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. From the Cape League to the big leagues, it's all hands on deck.
Bottom of the second from Harwich as Carson Dorsey steps right back to the mound to face 6, 7, 8 in the Harwich order. It's Seaver King, Matt Scannell, and Kenny Lavari. A righty and 2 lefties for the Commodore Southpaw. But he'll start with Seaver King out of Wingate, the Bulldogs, an Athens, Georgia native. Did not start opening day, but got the start at second base yesterday. Today over at third. First pitch fastball high and outside. It's 1-0. Dorsey struggled a bit with command in that first inning. Threw 19 pitches, just 6 strikes.
Yeah, and those first 2 batters he worked through rather quickly, Zach, and then a little bit of trouble with back-to-back walks and nearly gave another one away to Fitzgerald, but got bailed out by his center fielder, Mike Handel.
It's 2-0 as he missed on the 1-0 fastball. Comes back with a heater and this time does catch the outer third of the plate to bring the count to 2-1. Close stance from King, bends the knees, angles that bat towards third base, hits a ground ball to short. Keelan on the run, throw in time to get King. As Gavin Keelan makes that look easy at short.
He's done it so many times for these first couple of games. I actually talked with him about it during batting practice. I was like, every time the ball's coming to you, you're having to make a quick throw, quick adjustment on the run. And that's exactly what he did there. Moving to his right, got the glove down and a quick throw on the run in plenty of time to retire the quick Seaver King.
It's been a night of Princeton Tigers so far. Another one stepping in now, Matt Scannell. That's from the left side. Pops up the first pitch. Straight back. Rice Highfield comes over and makes the catch right in front of us here on the first base side for out number 2.
Well, the Mariners had a quick inning of the Commodores in the second. Now the Doors rather quickly here, moving along nicely. Got the pop-up there on Scott Bandora's collegiate roommate.
Yes, Matt Scannell unable to get anything there. Now it's a dangerous bat. Kenny Lavari, 3 for 3 with a pair of doubles in his 2 appearances for Harwich so far. Came in as a pinch hitter in yesterday's game. Got the start in game 1. Takes fastball for ball 1. Old Dominion Monarch bends way down in his stance from the left side. Takes a slider for a called strike to even up the count. Commodore shifted well off the line over at third and a few steps the rest of the way. 1-1 hit on the ground, right to Condon at first. He'll gobble that one up, touch the bag for out number 3. A 1-2-3 inning for Carson Dorsey. Falmouth still in front 1-0 as we head to the third.
This season, the Harwich Mariners will hold a 50-50 raffle. You can purchase tickets from the players and volunteers as they come through the stands during the game for your chance to take home half the total money collected or one of our great prizes from our local business partners. Tickets are 1 for $1, 5 tickets for $3, an arm's length for $10, or a wingspan for $20. In case you missed the opportunity to purchase tickets from our players and volunteers, additional tickets can be purchased at the 50-50 table located near the main entrance to Whitehouse Field. As a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, the Massachusetts State Lottery is celebrating the games we love playing. From the baseball diamond to the many lottery games that help support all 351 cities and towns across the Commonwealth. So here's to 100 years of Cape Cod baseball and 100 more.
Top of 3 from Whitehouse Field. Falmouth in front 1-0. 9-1-2 to start things off against Tom Chmielewski. That means Harrison Povey steps in. 3 straight left-handed hitters due up against the lefty. If anyone is able to reach, it's the righty, Charlie Condon. Povey, slightly open stance, holds that bat pretty straight over his shoulder, takes first pitch breaking ball that bounces to the backstop. It's ball one.
And Povey, 2 hits on opening day. Only got in for a base running effort in the extra frame yesterday in the tie against Bourne.
The wind from Chmielewski goes once again off speed, breaks it over the heart of the plate for a called strike. Standard shift from Harwich, couple of steps towards the right side with the lefty Povey, who takes the fastball low. It's 2-1.
He does a real good job, Zach, when he's at the bend of the knees, right on the pitch, follows the baseball into the catcher's mitt. You don't see a lot of guys do that.
Chmielewski goes into the windup, high leg kick, blows a fastball by Povey, evens up the count 2-2.
All right, clearly wasn't thinking fastball there. Now you get yourself back in the box, readjust the gloves, and get ready to get on something here.
The 2-2. Slapped foul out of play. Povey stays alive. Stands tall in that left-handed batter's box as Chmielewski comes across his body with that arm angle from the left side. Working pretty much the middle of the mound. Breaking ball roped out to right. Is it going to stay fair? Well, not. It hooks just foul. And another 2-2 upcoming.
Just ahead of the off speed there was Harrison. He braked out of the box and stopped for about, maybe the first 5-6 steps after that. Knew that he pulled that one, was on it. Just a little too aggressive.
Now another one. Povey widens the stance with 2 strikes and takes a curveball just inside to run the count full. Stands really tall until he gets to 2 strikes. Then he widens that stance, bends the knees a little more, just trying to make contact as much as he can. The payoff. Chopped on the ground right side. Camarillo fields in shallow right field. Throw is wide, and it gets towards the fence. I believe that's going to be an error on Ali Camarillo.
Yeah, a really routine play by Camarillo. Moving over to his left, got to the ball. Harrison moves, but when you're running towards first base, you got plenty of time. And the throw just made the first baseman, Fitzgerald, reach across his body. Probably not the way you want to start the inning if you're Harwich, but nonetheless, you flip the order and you got a leadoff base runner.
Well, and Fitzgerald also, taught as a first baseman to wait until the ball's coming to stretch there, and I think the stretch may have been a little early, which caused him to have to change the direction there. First pitch slider to Gavin Keelan is a called strike. It's 0-1. Povey does run well over at first. Couple of steps off the bag. Chmielewski fires a fastball. It's chopped right back to Camarillo. Quick turn. Culpepper across. Not in time. Keelan beats it out. Keeps the double play out of effect. But one away now for Christian Martin.
Gavin just ahead of it there. Rolled a weak ground ball. Don't see that too often from Keelan. He's been really, really solid at this point in the year. But with the hustle, you limit the damage to just that one out, but they do get the lead runner.
Brings up Christian Martin. Lined out to right in his first at bat. Has that open stance. Kind of sways back and forth. Shoots one the other way. Culpepper, tough play. Do they get the lead runner? Yes, they do. Just beats Gavin Keelan. Credit to Camarillo there. Turned into a first baseman to get the lead runner at second.
That's tremendous play. Left side of the infield showing out so far today for the hometown Harwich Mariners. And again, good speed made it close. So it's been the merry-go-round. Different guys taking over at first base.
Back-to-back fielders' choices. And now Charlie Condon comes up with 2 on and a runner on first. First pitch swinging. Little nubber right in front of second base. Camarillo throws across his body and gets Condon by a step. Some nifty infield play makes up for the error by the infield that got the runner on in the first place. We head to the bottom of the third. Falmouth still in front, 1-0. A pitcher's duel so far in Harwich.
Body Strong Fitness in Chatham is a proud supporter of the local community and the Harwich Mariners. Body Strong, your place for all things fitness. For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com. Your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to sponsor today's game. Leading off the bottom of the third inning for the Mariners, the catcher from Skidmore, number 29, Jackson Horning.
The catcher, Jackson Horning, leads things off for Harwich in the bottom of the third against Carson Dorsey. It's 9-1-2. Count quickly 1-0 as Dorsey misses to start off this at bat. Worked a 1-2-3 bottom of the second. Ground out, pop out. Fastball for a called strike evens the count. Horning out of Skidmore. Making his second appearance for Harwich, went 1 for 3 on opening day with a double. Pops one foul out of play. Brings the count to 1-2.
Dorsey, nice job here after that quick 1-2-3, getting right back ahead, not wasting any time.
Slider stays low. Good take there by Horning. It's got some tight movement to it out of the hand of Dorsey. Lefty working from the windup and much more comfortable from the windup in the early goings of this one. Delivers a slider that is hammered but pulled well foul.
You think he was looking for the fastball there, Zach?
I don't think so. He was well on that, but just well out in front of it. Another 2-2. Wave and a miss. Went right back to the same pitch and got him in front of it. This time, Horning swings through it. One away.
It was like slow motion from our angle here. Beautiful pitch. Starts on the outer part of the plate, comes back into the right-hander, and just swinging right over the top. Strikeout number 2 for Carson Dorsey.
The second strikeout, as you mentioned, the first one came back in the first against Jacob Humphrey, who now stands in. Fastball brushes him back. Just missed on the inside edge, and it's 1-0. Humphrey out of UMass Lowell, the Riverhawk, bends his knees from the right side, holds that bat over the right shoulder. The lefty Dorsey snaps off a slider for a called strike, evens up the count 1-1. Dorsey works quickly, back into the windup, goes right back to the breaking ball. It's fouled off of Highfill. The count quickly 1-2. Humphrey holds that bat on the shoulder until Dorsey starts the motion. Leg kick and foul tip that goes just off of the glove of Highfill.
That's 2 in a row back there getting a piece of Highfill on the armor. As a former backstop, that doesn't feel too good when you're feeling foul tips right off you.
Another 1-2. Fastball up. Humphrey lays off it. Evens up the count 2-2. Alec Amarillo on deck. He lined out to Scott Bandura on his first at bat. 2-2 misses up. Humphrey works the count full.
2 heaters in a row there missing up. The first one's okay. Second one needs to be more of a contested pitch. You got to at least get him to think about it. That was a ball right away.
The 3-2 from Dorsey. Popped up, foul, straight back out of play. Humphrey stays alive and another 3-2 coming. It's 1-0 Falmouth. The Scott Bandura RBI single back in the first got things started. Nothing since for either side. The 3-2. Slider that stays up and out. Humphrey battles all the way back, works himself a walk and a 1-out base runner for Harwich.
Yeah, 3 in a or not in a row, excuse me. 3 already through 2 and change for Dorsey, and you know, it was something that we definitely noticed with him. He walks a little bit of the batters he faces, but I mean, he still punches guys out. 4th in the conference with 99 this past season. So we've already seen 2 through the first time through the order, and now with 1 out, you're looking for the typical ground ball, but you know, any out you can get here is certainly appreciated.
Ali Camarillo stands in. Big leg kick, tips the fastball into the glove of Ross Highfill. Third start for Camarillo. Started at second base on opening day, then shortstop yesterday, now back to second today. Had a hit in each of the first 2 contests, including a double back on opening day.
This is a guy who's hitting in the 2-hole, a cleanup hitter with his numbers over at Cal State Northridge this year, earned him an all Big West first team membership. You know, he's very capable, 371 average. This guy's just a magnet for the baseball.
Fastball missed out to even the count. Camarillo stands tall, feet close together, kind of leans himself back as he awaits the pitch. Steps in and fouls it back. It's 1-2. Bat boy sprints over to get the baseball right in front of us.
This is their field time. I mean, they're hustling.
It is, getting his workout in. Humphrey has good speed. 2-step lead being held on by Condon. Dorsey staring him down, lifts the leg. Runner goes. 2-2, line down the left field line and hooks foul.
Well, that nearly was a perfectly executed hit and run. I mean, by the time right now Bandura's there, it already looks like Humphrey was on his way past third base. He would have scored without a doubt from first. That's why you draw those up, and that nearly was probably going to tie this game.
That pitch caught a lot of plate, but Camarillo couldn't keep it fair. So another 1-2 upcoming. We'll see if Humphrey is in motion again. Wareham had some good success running on Ross Highfill back on opening night. There was no success running against Austin Kelly yesterday. The conditions were a little tough, though, back on opening night, so we'll see if Ross Highfill is able to show off that arm a little bit tonight. Camarillo bends that bat over the shoulder. The 1-2. Bounces in. Good dirt ball read from Humphrey. He'll move up. Didn't get that far away from Highfill, but Humphrey saw it going down and immediately took off. Moves up to second. Runner in scoring position with one away and a 2-2 count.
Yeah, I'd call that a pass ball there, just trying to pick it and slowed down about 80% of it, but then it ricocheted off to the left. And
you're tough on these catchers, man. That's another wild pitch. 2-2. Swing and a miss on the fastball. Punches him out. That's number 3 for Dorsey. And by wild pitch, I didn't mean my opinion. I meant the official scorer's opinion.
Yeah, of course. I mean, just understanding the position. But no, like you said the other day, I wanted to talk about the conditions. I mean, with all that quick dry that they put out there about a half hour before first pitch, it is so thick, especially as a catcher where you're just in the crouch, your cleats are moving around as you go. It's tough to keep firm down there when it looks like you're kind of moving in quicksand almost.
It does. Kalen Culpepper steps in, takes the fastball outside. It's 1-0. Culpepper and Jones each worked walks against Dorsey in the first. That gave Harwich 2 on with 2 away, but Mike Handel's sliding grab in center kept the Mariners off the board. Dorsey trying to escape the jam again. Humphrey dancing at second. 1-0 is high. Highfill jumps out of the stance. Keep that one from getting to the backstop and hold the runner at second.
Yeah, a lot of high fastballs from Dorsey today. The one that he just got the swing and miss on for Camarillo was certainly not even, close. I think he just got a lucky swing and miss there. You got to bring that down a little bit.
Deep breath on the mound from Dorsey. Couple of looks back to second. Runner takes off. Great jump. Highfill throws down. Never going to get him. He had Dorsey read like a book, and he'll take a free 90 feet.
Yeah, right when Dorsey was about to go, that's when we saw the break of Humphrey. He kind of did like an aggressive primary, like shuffle step, and then back, and then he went. And that's just a good understanding. Like you said, a great read. If you're Dorsey there, it doesn't hurt to just get one last look back.
3-0 count now. In this at-bat, he'll miss outside. Kalen Culpepper works a second walk, and runners on the corners with 2 away as Kennedy Jones steps up to the dish. 4th walk already for Carson Dorsey. If Jones is able to reach, would not be surprised to see Mike Landry come on out and talk with him.
Yeah, can't really tell from here, Zach, the bullpen situation. If there's anyone down there, I'm not quite sure. It could just be something that we react to when we see it.
Yeah, not a great angle for the Falmouth bullpen. Got a great look at the Harwich bullpen from this spot, though.
We'll be able to tell you right away if someone's getting up from the bench.
First pitch to Jones is a slider. Highfill keeps it in front. We mentioned the deep backstop. Anything by Highfill will almost certainly tie this game. All 4 Harwich base runners have reached via the walk. Dorsey takes a deep breath, looks over at the runner on first. Chopped off the plate by Jones, evens up the count 1-1.
It's pretty aggressive there, jumping out of the box on that swing. But hey, any ball anywhere at someone here to get out of this slight little jam here for Dorsey. Otherwise, outside of the walks, he's pounded the strike zone for a good bit, other than the high fastballs occasionally every so often.
Jones, 2 for 5 last night with a pair of doubles in the win over Orleans. 0 for 4 in the Harwich opening day victory over YD. Dorsey again misses high and outside. It's 2-1. He's frustrated with himself.
Well, and I'm not saying you need to throw a perfect strike here, but I mean, he has had success with the breaking ball. The sliders looked really good for him, and even the changeup too. But I don't know about that fastball right now.
The 2-1. Spiked the fastball. It's 3-1. There's a lefty on deck in Hunter Fitzgerald, who's already been retired, albeit was a really nice play to retire the Old Dominion Monarch. 3-1 count to the dangerous Kennedy Jones. Dorsey, couple of looks to first, left leg kick, misses outside, ball 4. Culpepper and Jones, 4 plate appearances, 4 walks between the 3-4 hitters, and the bases are juiced for Hunter Fitzgerald.
From Old Dominion, number 32, Hunter.
Oh, yeah, just a lot of fastballs there for a ball, and now we're going to see Mike Landry go have a conversation. Good idea to do it. I look back at the Shane Telfer in his 5th inning of work yesterday. Had a quick mound visit before his last inning of work after he was getting a little shaky with the command, and that mound visit did it for him. He came back in, got a strikeout, came back the following inning. So this is just a reset, okay? Dorsey's certainly capable, but you just want this ball hit at somebody if you're struggling to put guys away, which actually, Zach, is pretty interesting that with all those strikeouts he had over at, in college at the JUCO level before now coming to Florida State, he's struggling a little bit in that category to put guys away today.
Dorsey already with 3 punch-outs, but 5 walks. As the home plate umpire, Ryan Demare, will come break up the conversation with Dorsey and Coach Landry. Bases juiced, 2 outs. Bottom of the 3rd, Falmouth in front, 1-0. Nobody warming in the Falmouth bullpen either. So this is going to be Dorsey's inning to try and finish. See if he can do it. The arms yesterday were terrific for Falmouth. Dorsey trying to add his stamp to that mark. Fitzgerald stands tall, slightly open stance from the left side, waves the bat over the left shoulder. Dorsey lifts that leg, fires a first pitch slider for a called strike, and it's 0-1.
And there it is. You need to get ahead because you haven't been really the last several at-bats this inning. Go to your most confident pitch, catch them off guard. You don't show your hands and you're not showing that. You're just throwing a good pitch to get you a strike away.
Dorsey comes set at the belt. Look back to Culpepper at second, the 0-1. Skied up into shallow left. Gavin Keelan calls off Bandura and makes the play. Dorsey gets a pop out. Harwich leaves them loaded. We head to the 4th. 1-0. Commodores in front.
Stay up to date with all things Harwich Mariners on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. If you can't make it to the game, we've got you covered. Subscribe to the Harwich Mariners YouTube channel to watch all of our games online with live play-by-play. The local community and volunteers are the lifeblood of the Harwich Mariners and the Cape Cod Baseball League. The Mariners are always looking for extra hands helping around the ballpark. If you or someone you know is interested in volunteering with the Mariners, please reach out to one of our staff members.
Scott Bandura steps to the plate. Middle of the order for Falmouth. Here in the top of the 4th of a 1-0 ball game. It was Bandura's RBI single back in the first. The lone hit of the ball game for either side to this point. And he takes the fastball for a called strike. It's 0-1. Chmielewski has settled himself in after giving up the run back in the first. Bandura has that open stance, bends the back knee as he fouls back. Fastball, it's 0-2. Infield deep across the diamond with nobody on and nobody out. Outfield playing Bandura straight up. The windup from Chmielewski. Ground ball off the glove of Chmielewski. Camarillo coming in, going to be a tough play. In time to get Bandura. He disagrees, but the call at first emphatic from James Fonseca, and one away.
And a good hustle. I honestly think that because his Princeton Tiger teammate Chmielewski slowed that one down, ricocheted off of his glove. I don't think that had enough juice on it given the range that Culpepper's been covering on the left side of the infield. I think he's out, more convincingly than that. He made it close. That's a cleanup hitter moving down the line like that. One away.
Brings up Ross Highfill. He grounded out to the shortstop Culpepper to end the threat in the first. Takes a called strike on a curveball. Starts that out in the left-handed batter's box. Breaks it back in over the strike zone to get ahead of Highfill. Had a hit in each of the first two games of his Commodores career. High chopper to third. King fields it with a hop throw across the diamond. Easily retires Ross Highfill. Showing off the bunnies at third and 2 away.
I was going to say, that was pretty. That was a really high pop fly. By the way you saw King react to it, it could have been, if you didn't see where the ball trajectory started, you would have thought it was just a routine pop-up. But because of that, takes a little bit off the edge. Not that Ross is the most quick guy in the world, but you got to get a throw over there in time. Does that beautifully, and 2 up, 2 down quickly.
Brings up Mike Hansel. First pitch, slider for a called strike. We mentioned earlier that he likes to start it over the heart and bend it away, but there to handle, starts it in at him and catches the inside corner. The 0-1 from Chmielewski. Popped up left side. Hornung will watch it land just beyond the bleachers on the left side of the field here at Whitehouse Field. Beautiful ballpark here in Harwich. Chmielewski trying to work another 1-2-3 frame. Lefty kicks and deals the 0-2. Line drive, slicing into left. That's going to drop in front of Kennedy Jones for a base hit. First hit is a Commodore for Mike Hansel, and a 2-out base runner for Falmouth.
And there was a loud ovation from the Commodore faithful here. Mike, we talked about it, worked so many good at-bats up to this point, and you're just trying to get him to buy one out there. He couldn't up until that one there. A nice job the other way. Line drive right in front of the left fielder. That's how you do it. And the Commodores have a base runner with 2 away.
Michael Eze steps in. First 1-0. Pretty good speed from Handel at first, but not a big lead. Just 2 steps, being held on by Fitzgerald. Slider for a called strike, popped out of the glove of Horning. Kept it in front of him, though. It's 1-1. With 2 away, infield still playing pretty deep across the diamond, with the exception of Fitzgerald, who's holding on. Handel over at first. Slider for a called strike. It's quickly 1-2 to Eze. Throw back to Chmielewski, got away, and it's kind of just sitting on the infield grass right now. Camarillo came and got it back to him.
It's not the first time we've seen that. Earlier in the first inning, there was no one on base, so you can take your time getting to it, but Mike Handel's a quick guy. Good heads-up base running. You could move on from that.
It's tough when the ball's right at second base. Does take off. 1-2. It's a swing and a miss. They'll throw down. Would have got him, but it didn't matter. As Zay goes down on strikes, we head to the bottom of the fourth. A 2-out base runner, but nothing more for Falmouth. Still 1-0 Commodores right here on the Commodores Baseball Network.
inning for Harwich, the third baseman from Wingate, number 25, Seaver.
Seaver King leads off the bottom of the fourth. This is the same part of the order, 6, 7, 8, that Dorsey faced in the bottom of the second. Worked through him without a problem. See if he can duplicate that feat here in the bottom of the fourth. Zach Surdenik alongside Matt Venezia, Destiny Sanchez along with us as well. The 1-0 is a slider for a called strike. Evens up the count 1-1. Carson Dorsey has worked around 5 walks to keep Harwich scoreless through 3. So 1-0 Commodores leading the fourth. Fastball stays up, and it's 2-1.
Quick second to go around the league here so far. YD on top of Brewster 6-4 in the bottom of the 7. 2-2 and Katuitt with Wareham and the Kettleers.
Chopper foul on the 2-1, evens the count at 2-2.
Hyannis up 3-0 on Chatham in the third, very early there. Same in the top second. Orleans down 1 at home against Bourne. And then right here in Harwich, the Doors on top by 1.
The 2-2 from Dorsey. Bounces in, gets through the legs of Highfill, but nobody on base, so no harm, no foul. The count does run full, though, to Seaver King. King looking to keep himself going in that lineup. The 3-2 hit on the ground, left side, going to be a tough play for Keelan, and it gets by him into left field. A leadoff single, the first hit for Harwich in this game, and Seaver King aboard.
Yeah, pull side, gave the one a hard rip right off contact. I mean, Gavin Keelan's literally been flying everywhere all over the infield through almost 3 games, and he even made that one look close with a dive to his right, got inside the 6-hole there, and a base runner to lead it off for Harwich.
Matt Scannell now steps in, popped out to Ross Highfill in foul territory last time. King creeping off that bag at first. Pitch misses high with the fastball. Dorsey has struggled from the stretch so far today, been much more comfortable from the windup. See if he can lock himself back in here with a man aboard in a 1-0 ball game.
Zach, that's their first hit tonight, the Mariners.
It is,
despite all the base runners.
That is their 6th base runner, and the first one coming by way of the hit. Fastball for a called strike. Evens up the count 1-1. Lefty-lefty matchup with Scannell up. Slider breaks low and away. Brings the count to 2-1.
Been a lot of hitters counts for the Mariners. But despite that, again, that was just the first hit we've seen. So it's been a lot of timely hits right at people, or those strikeouts we've seen Dorsey to get the Doors out of some jams.
2-1 fastball over the heart evens the count. It's 2-2. Double play depth up the middle with Keelan and Martin. Eze a little bit off the bag over at third with the lefty in Scannell up at the plate. 3-step lead off of first for King. The pitch. Slicing out to left. Long run for Bandura. It's in foul territory and it gets out of play anyways. Over off the batting cage down the left field line here at Whitehouse Field, and another 2-2 upcoming.
Yeah, I really like the structure here at Whitehouse Field. First road trip for us, but I mean, snack shop right below the press box. Everything's around each other. Fresh burgers. I mean, you're thinking summer baseball, this is a spot to be.
That it is. Dorsey lifts the leg. Runner goes. 2-2 is low. Highfill can't get out of the glove, and another stolen base.
Yeah, not really much else to say. Really good jump there on first by Seaver King. He swipes another bag. But Highfill, you got to think it's just getting to him now. There's been a lot of situations.
It is, but it's also been really good jumps from that as Dorsey and Ferret, who was the starter on opening night, have both kind of struggled to hold runners on. They're getting extremely good jumps as breaking ball fouled back on the 3-2.
Seaver King also really good at stealing bags. He picks up one right there. He had 13 of them. And this is a guy who also was a slugger of well over 600, so he's very capable and can be on the base paths too.
3-2, pop foul out of play. Another 3-2 coming. Antoine Jean up and warming in the bullpen for Falmouth, a returning Falmouth Commodore, coming off of pretty big injury, missed all of this season at Alabama, but now back and ready to go.
I was going to say, it's a really anticipated debut. We've both been very excited to see Antoine throw.
He started the home opener for Falmouth last year. And he's warming right now, and a balk by Carson Dorsey moves up the runner to third. With nobody out, the tying run for the Mariners just 90 feet away. A lot of free 90s being given up in this game by Falmouth. The 3-2. Chopper on the ground to first. That'll get the run in. Condon wins the foot race to the bag for out number 1, but we're all tied at 1 apiece here in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, a lot of free 90s is the right way to say it, partner. I mean, we've talked about how that they just have that one hit, but another situation, a balk of all things, to get a base runner over. And, the defense was waving the white flag in that situation. No one in on the grass. You're just looking for a ground ball to get that first out, help your starting pitcher. And personally, with Gene throwing, I probably thought that would have been it for Dorsey, but he's going to keep going.
Bases are clear now, though, and a left-handed hitter in Kenny Lavari at the plate. Designated hitter takes a slider up above the zone. It's 1-0. Dorsey, the winds up, line drive to second. Christian Martin snares it for out number 2.
That's good. You need that. You need Dorsey if he's going to keep going. Get the pitch count down. Don't get in spots where you give Harwich an opportunity to be ahead in the count for those hitters counts. There's been a lot of them tonight, despite just the one hit that we've been mentioning. But right at Christian Martin there, just moving to his right. Easy line drive, and now you need one more to get out of the inning.
75 pitches so far for Carson Dorsey. Now we'll face Jackson Horning. Big swing and a miss out in front of that breaking ball. He punched out Horning on that same pitch earlier in the game, back to lead off the 3rd. Chopper foul down the third base side. Count quickly 0-2. 1-1 ball game in the bottom of the 4th. It was Falmouth taking an early lead on a Scott Bandura single, and now Harwich ties things with the RBI ground out. Horning pops up the 0-2, right side, foul territory. Condon with a long run, and he will make the play for out number 3. But Harwich evens the score. We're tied at 1 through 4 innings from Whitehouse Field. You're listening to Falmouth Commodores Baseball. Tucker Bivin steps in to lead off the top of the 5th in a tie ball game. Tom Chmielewski back to the mound, fires a called strike on a fastball to Bivin. Designated hitter here out of Louisville. Grounded out to shortstop in his first debut of the summer. Now it's a high chopper back up the middle. Backhand by Camarillo. Throw from behind second is over the glove of Fitzgerald. And Bivin reaches on what I believe will be another error.
Yeah, it's interesting. It looked like Fitzgerald was anticipating the throw. He was ready for it. I think that just may have been that's got to be an E3 if the throw looked pretty good from here, Zach. I don't know. We'll see how the live scores rule it, but nonetheless, it's a leadoff base runner for the Doors.
It is an error by the second baseman, Camarillo. Harrison Povey steps up, a man aboard for Falmouth, trying to get that run right back here in the top of the 5th. Already the 3rd Harwich error in this game. Just 3 combined hits for the two teams. Falmouth with 5 walks surrendered and 3 errors for Harwich. Throw back over to Bivin at first, not in time. Tucker Biven, you mentioned, Matt, earlier he pitched on opening night. He entered college as one of the top shortstops in the country out of New Albany, Indiana. Povey slices a foul ball on a fastball, evens up the count, 1-1.
Yeah, I think we've been anticipating seeing Tucker swing a little bit. Got good pop. He looked good at Fenway, too, the other day in front of everyone at the famous, most beloved ballpark in America, Fenway Park.
Three-step lead off of first for Biven. Chmielewski delivers, ground ball to second. It dies. Camarillo tries to get to it. The relay not in time. Povey beats it out. Another fielder's choice. We've already seen quite a few of those from Falmouth as it moves up. Povey to first. Biven heads back to the dugout. One on with one away. Lineup card flips over now for Gavin Keelan.
The shortstop from Louisville, number 5, Gavin Killen.
It was Keelan who had the first of those fielder's choice back in the third inning when things went around and around. Keelan has that slightly open stance from the left side. First pitch, squares to bunt, pulls back. It's in the dirt. A good block by Horn and keeps it in front. I asked Gavin Keelan earlier about those bunts, and he said it's a part of his game. That's something he looks to do, especially with a couple of steps and a shifted infield, although now King playing on the edge of the grass down the third base side. Slider for a called strike to Keelan, evens things at 1. 0 for 1. Keelan hit by a pitch in the first, came around to score the lone run for Falmouth, and then the fielder's choice back in the third. 1-1, sliced the other way, just foul down that third base side.
Yeah, Keelan at the top of the order was a guy who was jumping off the stats page for the first couple of games here. He's been to a slow start since. Obviously had a walk yesterday, a big double for Gavin as well, and that was in the Wareham game to open the night.
The 1-2. High chopper right side. Going to be tough to get to. Camarillo won't even try. He'll throw to first, retire Keelan, but a man in scoring position with 2 away. And Christian Martin stepping up, trying to bring Falmouth back in front.
Well, I think Gavin can say thank you to Harrison, who provided the opportunity for a screen there and almost gave up himself. But Povey now moves over to second. I mean, keep in mind, Camarillo couldn't make the play there. He had to wait for Harrison to clear his path. So a base hit will get it done.
First pitch swing and fouls it right off his foot, and it's 0-1. Martin lined out in the first, had a fielder's choice in the third. And that was a ball he hit the other way. Culpepper had to backhand it and fire to second. Just barely got Gavin Keelan in that situation. 0-1. Breaking ball outside. Tried to get Martin to chase on that slider, low and away, but able to lay off it. Really good start to the season for Christian Martin. 3 hits so far in the early going. That one off the end of the bat, fouls it back. The count to 1-2. Chmielewski trying to get through a 5th inning of work. The Harwich starters have been outstanding. Now to this point, 12 2/3 innings pitched from their 3 starters. 4 hits, 1 run. That'll surely help. Off to a good start. Harwich at 2-0 at this point in the Cape League season. Povey creeping off the bag, walking lead at second. Held on by Culpepper. 1-2 to Martin, lays off the breaking ball in the dirt. Good job by Hornig to keep it in front. Another lefty-lefty matchup. The big righty Charlie Condon looms on deck for Falmouth if Martin's able to reach.
It could be a good spot with 2 outs. Get your 3-hole hitter up in this situation here.
The 2-2. Chop back to the screen. Martin staying alive in this at bat. Chmielewski settling himself down, gets back to the mound, works quickly, comes set, closed stance, holds the glove at the belt. High leg kick, 2-2, breaking ball, lined out to left center. Jones is back on it, he'll make the play for out number 3. Falmouth gets a man in scoring position, but they leave him standing there. We're all tied at 1, headed to the bottom of the 5th from Whitehouse Field. Welcome back to Whitehouse Field, bottom of the 5th. All tied at 1 between the Commodores and the Mariners, and there's a new arm on the mound for Falmouth, and with more on that, we'll send it over to Destiny Sanchez.
Thanks, Zach. A little bit about the new pitcher for Falmouth. Antoine Jean, the left-handed pitcher from Alabama, originally from Montreal, Quebec. He missed last season due to injury. He had Tommy John surgery, but he was freshman All-American in 2020, and he pitched for Falmouth last year, so I bet he's itching to get back on the mound after some time.
Thanks, Destiny. We'll see how he does in his 2023 Commodores debut, and he'll face the top of the order for Harwich, starting off with Jacob Humphrey. Final out for Mr. Dorsey was that pop out of Jackson Hornung. Final line for Dorsey, 4 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 run, 5 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Jean quickly ahead, 0-2, gets a swing and miss on that heater. He's got electric stuff from that left-hand side. Holds the glove at the chin as he gets the sign. Into the windup. Fastball chopped foul. Count 0-2.
Yeah, 22 appearances that year, that 2020, before he got hurt. 16 games started, 10-2, 3.31 ERA. That was 77 innings pitched, guys. 70 hits, 30 runs that were earned, and he struck out 61 batters. So this guy works around, uses a lot of those different pitches, as we were mentioning earlier, that 3 to 4 pitch mix. Those lefties, they got usually a long, good bending breaking ball, and I'm expecting to see it here ahead of the count 0-2.
Goes into the windup, the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball outside.
Your attention, please.
It's now 1-2. In that one start with Falmouth last season, 3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 4 runs with a strikeout. Takes that deep breath, shrugs the shoulders, goes into the windup. Pitch skied out to center. Handle back on it, now comes in for out number 1.
Good piece of pitching there. Again, we saw that breaking ball we were expecting pretty early there. Battled it off and then got him to sky one to handle. And, hey, there's been a lot of that today. I mean, only 3 strikeouts by Dorsey early on. A lot of free passes in the balk to move guys over and set up situations, but only 1 hit. So if you're getting your defense involved, then you're okay.
And only 3 combined hits between these two teams so far. We're here in the bottom of the 5th, even at 1. Brings up Ali Camarillo. Line out and a strikeout. Takes breaking ball for a called strike. As it catches the back door, it's 0-1. Camarillo digs back into the box. That back elbow up. Wind up from Jean. Big bender that misses the zone and evens the count 1-1. 1 run on 2 hits for Falmouth, 1 run on 1 hit for Harwich. The 3 errors for the Mariners and the 5 walks for the Commodores kind of evening themselves out. 1-1, chopper, left side. Aze fields on a hop, throw across, retires Camarillo for out number 2.
Yeah, it took a little bit of a second, but Michael Aze looks really, really good at third base now. I mean, that was a quick, bouncing ball, fielded it cleanly on the glove, and then when you do that, you can settle in with that long throw. You got time, just step into the throw. It's exactly what he did with Charlie Condon over at first. Big target. Aze, rep after rep, I think is looking pretty good over there.
A really nice job by Michael Aze to play that off that lip there and get the candy hop as Culpepper takes ball 1. This part of the order, Culpepper and Jones against Dorsey, did not register a single at bat. Both guys worked walks in both plate appearances. We'll see if Jean can change things up. 1-0, big swing and a miss. Blows the heater by him.
Well, I'll tell you, he's been pounding the zone, wasting little time. And, the first 2 batters that Dorsey saw got him quickly, then had the walk, and then it was actually back-to-back walks. Not seeing that from Jean so far.
The 1-1. Well, nubber into shallow center. Hansel runs in, but it'll drop in front of him. Soft single with 2 away. Keeps the inning alive for Harwich.
Yeah, you don't mind the pitch mix there from Jean. I mean, he's attacking. He likes that fastball and really only works with the fastball, curveball, and occasionally that changeup. But all that was just getting the hands in front, kind of muscling one up to where Handel was, and 2 out base knock bloops in for the second hit tonight for Harwich.
Culpepper has reached all 3 at-bats, or all 3 plate appearances, I should say, as now Kendi Jones steps up trying to match that feat after his 2 walks against Dorsey. First pitch swinging, chops it right back into his foot, and it's 0-1. That big frame from the right side for Jones, and he had himself a big day yesterday.
Absolutely, yeah. He was a big reason why that 10-3 victory. You know, it was a closer game earlier on in the ball game, but then Harwich pulled away. This is their cleanup guy. He's used to these situations and had the 2 doubles, as you mentioned earlier.
Jean with that high leg kick snaps the breaking ball in for a called strike. It's quickly 0-2. Infield, pretty deep across the diamond with 2 away. Condon holding on Culpepper at first. Culpepper has pretty good speed over there, 3-step lead. Jean snaps another breaker, and it's fouled off the other way. Another 0-2 upcoming. Sun starting to set here behind the clouds, but it's been a pretty cloudy sky all evening here in Harwich. Runner goes, the 0-2, hit back to the mound. Jean fields it, runs over, flips to Condon for out number 3, and it's a scoreless bottom of the 5th. Worked by Antoine Jean. We head to the 6th from Whitehouse Field. Matt Venezia will have the play-by-play on the other side of the break. You are listening to Falmouth Commodores Baseball.
Welcome back here to the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network. Matt Venezia, Zach Surdenik. We've heard from Destiny Sanchez a few times tonight. 3-4-5 for the Commodores, due up here in the top half of the 6th inning. It's Charlie Condon stepping in, the first baseman. First pitch to him is a hook, and he's going to foul it away back towards the first base dugout of Harwich.
And the third time that these guys in this order are seeing Chmielewski. He threw a couple of complete games for Princeton this year. He can really go deep into games. We'll see how long they leave him out there, but that pitch count, not that high for him.
From the windup, this is laced into right field. It's a base hit for Condon. Takes a couple of hops for Scannell to get over there and make the play. Good to see Charlie back on base to lead off the inning.
Charlie Condon with a hit, now his 3rd straight game for the Commodores. He impressed all year at Georgia, and now continuing that production here onto Cape Cod. And a matchup that we've talked about quite a bit already, Scott Bandura.
That's right. The 2 Princeton buddies going head-to-head. Each of them have won a battle against each other. This is the 3rd of the night. Bandura, the base hit back in the 1st. Shows bunt, pulls it back, but that one's a strike on the inner half. Scott, not much of a believer on that one.
We talked about these 2 teammates, but another teammate of a Commodore warming in the bullpen for Harwich. It's Will Pearson out of Georgia. That's getting loose.
Here comes a pitch from Chmielewski on the outside for another one. 0-2 fastball away. And again, Scott not biting on either of those 2, but now he's got to get in there and protect.
Mentioned that he's had a lot of at-bats off of Chmielewski in his career. Said he homered the last time he saw him.
Come set now, the pitch from Chmielewski. It's a breaking ball. It's going to be chopped to the right side of the infield. Coming in as a first baseman. Late hustle. And again, Bandura called out on a close play. Chmielewski covering. Nonetheless, though, the job is done. Moving the base runner Condon over to second. There's one away.
That's a productive out, and Bandura is not happy right now. That's twice that they've been really, really close. I think he beat the first one. I don't know about that one, but man, that is a tough, tough way to get out.
All 3 of Bandura's contacts today have been choppers that have actually been close to staying in on the infield. He beat out for that RBI knock. One up to where The shortstop Culpepper came over by the bag of second base. Now Highfield breaking ball in the dirt, comes up empty.
And Condon does move pretty well for his size, getting that walking lead at second, trying to score on anything to the outfield. But if it's hit pretty hard, don't be surprised if they hold him.
Pitch on the way, fastball outer half in there for a strike. And Highfield behind it 0-2. Chmielewski's found a second gear here. He's really gotten ahead here since that base hit from Condon. Looks for the sign behind the plate from Horning. Now he's come set, looks back to second. Now the leg kick, he goes. Condon is stealing. Good one to go on as it was in the dirt. Hornung kept it in front of him, and it's a swipe bag and a good one to go on. Condon's on third.
What a read by Charlie Condon. I don't know if he figured out that there was a breaking ball coming, if he saw the setup down and trusted it, but he was going pretty much on the release of that pitch.
This one's in the dirt. It gets away. Condon had to think about it, and he gets back. We talked about the deep backstop here, but luckily Horning able to keep it close for him.
He caught just enough of a piece of it that he was able to get back to it. Charlie Condon was ready to go.
And for anyone wondering, in his freshman year in Athens, no stolen bases for Condon. He picks one up here in the Cape Seasons youth. Now the pitch. This one's lined down the line. Highfield with a base hit. He's going to look for second. Condon's in to score. Highfield gets on the afterburners, and he's going to take a wide banana turn. Now he's got to get back, and he does. Highfield back-to-back nights with an RBI, and the Commodores are back in front.
Condon probably scores on that anyways, but he takes away any doubt by moving up the 90 feet. And Ross Highfield, again, with a really nice swing, just keeps that inside the line, able to turn on that pitch and hold the edge to pick up the RBI.
Ross Highfield picks up another RBI. He's moved up in the order because of his success down there in the order so far. And just like that, the Doors are back out in front. Condon in to score. RBI number 3 for Ross Highfield. And now in the box, it's Mike Handel, who we saw have a base hit last time, his first in the young season here in Cape Cod. The pitch here on the way, it's a hook. Now going again is Highfield. The throw's behind, and he's in there safely. Another stolen base for the Doors.
They figured something out because they're running on exclusively curveballs right now, and so they clearly seem to have something going because Condon and Highfield are not the two guys you're thinking of as burners, but both times it's been great jumps, and that play for Condon wasn't even close, and Highfield stole that bag pretty easily as well.
Here comes the pitch, high leg kick, and fouling this one back straight away as Handel will do the 0-2 again. The Commodores through 2 games haven't really been putting the game in motion themselves. They've been on the receiving end of it, and now, a little taste of their own medicine, they're actually using it themselves.
And it's making a big difference so far in the 6th.
Chmielewski goes. This one's lined to the second baseman, Camarillo. He'll step and make the throw. That's 2 outs. But Highfield does move over to third, and it'll take a base knock from Eze to get the Doors a 2-run lead.
And the stolen base took away the double play. If Highfield doesn't move up, that's a tailor-made double play ball. Instead, this inning's still alive, and Michael Eze has a chance to keep it going and add another run to this lead.
0-for-2 is Michael Eze today. Got a great opportunity here to bring in a batter. A lot of accolades at Georgetown, as the first one here is a fastball that apparently was tipped. I didn't think it was. They call it a strike. And he's behind it quickly, 0-1.
I don't think Michael Eze thought so either. Just kind of gave a look back. The home plate umpire not really sure about it, but either way, he'll take it.
The pitch on the way, fouled straight back. And again, quickly behind 0-2. And again, in now his 6th inning of work, Chmielewski, it's only been 6 combined hits. The pitchers have certainly had their fun in this ball game.
He's thrown 85 pitches, 66 of them strikes.
He's been pinpointing the zone. He comes for another one here. The pitch on the way, stays upstairs. Good take by Eze. Looked like a changeup that never really changed. 1-2.
Good at bat from Eze. He's been working them all throughout the first few games. Hasn't really found too many barrels yet, but seeing a lot of pitches.
From the windup, the stretch, it's a breaking ball cut on and missed. Eze down on strikes, but not before the Commodores get the lead right back. Ross Highfield lacing a single down the third base line, and that's where the Doors stand now. 2-1, going to the bottom of the 6th here on the Commodores Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Commodores Baseball Network. Matt Venezia, Zach Surdenik, Destiny Sanchez. Bottom six here at Whitehouse Field in Harwich. The first road game for the Falmouth Commodores. The first man to see Antoine Jean here in the bottom six is Hunter Fitzgerald. 0 for 2 on the day. Flew out to center to Mike Handel, and he popped out to get the Doors out of a jam to Keelan. Few innings back. First pitch swinging. This one's to the backhand side of Christian Martin. Bounced up to himself. My goodness, that was a pretty play. But just beating it out with Fitzgerald. Very unique. Kind of popped it to himself there, Zach.
It was. He didn't field that cleanly. Tried to scoop it with the backhand. Didn't get it. Nice concentration to keep himself alive. It was a close play at first, but benefit of the doubt goes to the runner there in Fitzgerald.
And it is ruled a base hit, despite the
slight... Yeah, that's got to be a hit.
Right. A little bit of a slight bobble there, but it still came back to Martin. Now Jean goes from the stretch. Breaking ball in the dirt, blocked in front of him was Highfill, and he keeps it by. 1-0 to Seaver King here, the third baseman. Base hit last time around. He came to score on it after getting a second on a stolen base, and then a balk from Dorsey. The 1-0. Fastball over the middle. This is chopped. They could turn two. Thinking about it, they just flipped for one to Keelan, and that's Martin. Rule that one a 4-6 on your cards at home. And the fielder's choice picks up the first out of the inning.
And that's an awkward situation there because of how high that ball is chopped. One of the two has to go get it. The other has to cover the bag. And good communication there to make sure Keelan got to the bag, and they were able to get one. With how slow it was hit, you were probably never going to get Seaver King. So getting the lead runner is the best case scenario there.
Good situation for the Doors. They do pick up an out on a ball that was almost put in no man's land there. Now Jean with one away goes breaking ball in the dirt inside. Nothing, or check that 1-0 here from Jean. Again, returning from Tommy John surgery. He looks pretty good. Second season now officially underway for him with the Doors. The 1-0. Fastball up near the head. Ouch. Nearly. Didn't get him. Highfill able to snag his glove there and make that play. 2-0 from Jean.
Scannell just saw his life flash before his eyes there. Just quick drop straight to the ground.
Looked unintentional from John, obviously. Now he'll get the runner caught in a situation. Condon throws down to Keelan covering, tried to swim around the tag. Still doesn't matter. Good tag there. And we talked about being active on the base paths. The Doors catch a man running.
Holding runners on is massive, and Antoine Jean did a nice job. The Mariners had really tried earlier in the game to read Carson Dorsey and had success. They tried to read Jean there, and he fooled him. Picks up a big second out.
With the lefties facing first base, nice sneaky move there. Now showing a bunt and pulling it back. That is a ball inside on the fastball. Looked kind of good from our angle here. 3-0 to the right fielder of Harwich tonight. The Mariners 2-0 to this point in the year. The Doors looking for their first win of the season. 0-1-1. The pitch right down Broadway. 3-1 now. Taking the entire way there was Scannell. Jean now from the full windup delivers. It's another fastball cut on and missed. Maybe actually got a piece of it as it popped out of the glove of Highfill. From 3-0, now you battle back to a full count.
It's a big pitch here. If he can find a way to work a clean inning here after the way it started with the leadoff single, have to take that.
Absolutely, partner. No one on the bases now for this 3-2 full count pitch from Jean. The payoff. Popped up a mile into the air. Jean might be the one calling for it. He actually calls off Eze and makes the play himself. Slaps Ross Highfill too with some excitement there. The Doors with Jean in, hanging a couple zeros. It's still 2-1 Falmouth. We head to the last third of the ball game here on the Commodores Radio Network. Top of the 7th getting underway here at Whitehouse Field. All around the Cape, we go for a recap, Zach.
YD picking up its first win of the summer, knocking off Brewster 8-6 from Red Wilson Field at Lowell Park in Katuitt. The Kettleers get to 2-0, knocking off Wareham by the score of 3-2. Hyannis up 6-0 at home against Chatham in the top of the 6th. It's 6-4 Orleans over Bourne from Eldridge Park. And right here in Harwich, it's 2-1 Falmouth in front, heading to the 7th.
The Commodores looking for their first of the season, their first victory, and leading off, Tucker Bivin, the designated hitter, to try and do it. He reached on an error last time from Camarillo on the throw. Bivin, again, limited plate appearances this season, primarily used as a pitcher in relief appearances at Louisville, but he can swing it. Looking to reach for the first time via the base hit in this at-bat. New pitchers Will Pearson out of Georgia. First pitch to Bivin looked like a cutter in, fouled straight back.
Chmielewski was good tonight. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, no walks, and a pair of punch-outs, but he exits on the hook for this one at this point, as the Commodores were able to bring that run across back in the top of the 6th.
From the stretch now he goes. Little side angle arm slot. Got the outside. 0-2 to Bivin. We'll give you a quick update on Pearson's numbers. 14 earned runs this season in 19 appearances. 0-1 with a 5.73 for the Bulldogs in the SEC. The 0-2 pitch is a slider. Low and away. 1-2 now to Bivin.
Tucker Bivin just trying to work at bats, get used to seeing live pitching again. It's been a while for him. He was excited earlier. I was talking to him, seeing how he could get some swings in, and we'll see how he can do against Pearson.
Pearson now 1-2, goes on the way. It's one of those sliders, and it does catch the upper outer part of the plate. Bivin down looking, a backwards K, and the first man he sees, Pearson retires.
That's a really tough arm slot for righties to hit from. The good thing if you're a Falmouth Commodores fan, though, is that there's 3 straight lefties coming up now, and that ball from that angle is going to go right into the barrel if they catch it correctly. So Pearson really has to try to get this in on the hands of these Commodores hitters. Otherwise, he's going to have a long inning.
And a good barrel to have in that spot. It's Harrison Povey who, entering this contest right near the tippy top of the Commodores' batting average leaders to this point. At Florida Gulf Coast, 19 home runs for Harrison. Now steps in for his first summer of work here in the Cape League for Falmouth. The 0-1 from Pearson in the dirt. Gets all the way to the backstop. No need to be overly aggressive to defend that one because no one is on base. He spiked it there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Unfortunately for those home run numbers, the wind's starting to pick up and it's blowing right in from right field.
Doesn't help the pull hitters that are left-handed. Here's the 1-1. This one's a changeup low and into Harrison. He leaves it there. 2-1 now.
This Falmouth team hasn't been overly reliable on the home run, though. Just the 1 long ball so far from Ross Highfield.
You'd like to see those bats get to it here relatively soon as we continue through the youth of this season. The 2-1 off the outside part of the plate. Hitters count now 3-1. It's 2-1 Falmouth here in the top of the 7th. We've got this nice interactive view for you on the radio to see exactly what's happening as it's happening, despite not being able to visually show you with video. Here's the 3-1. Harrison swung at it, popped it up, giving Chase's Horning to his left near the screen. And he gets into the second row of bleachers just beyond the fence on the third base side. Good chase, and Harrison now has a full count, buys himself another pitch.
Fans were looking for it in the bush. There's a kid still looking for it. It's been out of that bush for about 15 seconds.
I'll tell you why. We haven't gotten one yet. I'd like to get a foul ball because they have the 100th Centennial logo on the ball.
They do. We'll have to get one at some point this year. We've got 41 more games to do it.
Or you could buy one in the shop. But you can get one for free. I mean, it's a game-used ball.
Hey.
Pearson from the stretch. He goes on the full count. He dropped a changeup in there. Harrison left buckled. 2 consecutive backwards Ks for Will Pearson.
It's a very different look than what they just saw from Chmielewski, the big lefty. Now you've got a smaller righty throwing from a weird arm slot. It's not an easy adjustment to make.
That it is not. Now Gavin Keelan steps in for the Commodores. 3 appearances so far. Hit by a pitch to lead off the ball game. That was Falmouth's first run of the game. First pitch, he swings at it, hits it to the opposite field, high to left. Now charging in is Jones. He's going to make a basket catch, but he ran into Culpepper, it looked like, out there, and now there's a couple guys slow to get up. The catch was still made. The inning ends. But Jones now to his feet. And that's why you got to talk out there. But nonetheless, it looks like the out recorded. The inning comes to an end. We're going to stretch and probably a little bit more than that if you're Jones and Harwich. Hopefully he's okay. We'll give you an update on him when we come back on the other side of the break here on the Commodores Radio Network.
Sorry.
Antoine John's day is over. There's a new arm on the mound. It's a right-hander, Casey Hunt out of Mississippi State. Zach, what's the scouting report?
25 appearances this year for the Bulldogs. He was drafted last year by the Pirates in the 12th round, elected to go back to Mississippi State, try and improve that draft stock. He had an up and down year there, a couple of saves, not a pretty ERA at 8.54, but sometimes for those bullpen arms, that can be a little inflated. 55 strikeouts, 33 walks, and just trying to get the Commodores through here. He's been here a couple of times for Falmouth before, now trying to get back to it.
And everything you need from Jean. 2 innings, gave up 2 hits, and that's it. No Ks, no walks, no nothing. No runs as that one's in there for a strike from Hunt. Setting the table with a nice hold, and now Hunt will go into this last third for Falmouth. First pitch there in there for a strike. Is now stepping in. It's Kenny Lavari. Fires in a fastball there on the outer half. 0-2 quickly for the right-hander from Mississippi State.
Made a couple of appearances for Falmouth back in 21.
Here he comes now. Slowed it down for him. Nothing on that one. It's a strikeout for Hunt in the first at-bat that he has, sending Lavari back to the dugout. He's 0 for 3 now on the day, 1 away in the bottom of the 7th.
Can't ask for a much better start coming out of the bullpen for Casey Hunt. Just dispatches of Lavari.
And that'll bring in Jackson Horn in the caboose of the order. 2 appearances. 0 for 2 so far. This one's in there for a strike. He got away from Highfill.
I think that just hit him right in the chest protector, right over the heart of the plate with that breaking ball. Casey Hunt is locked in right now.
He's firing it. It looks good from his right arm. Comes right over the top, almost like a tomahawk just a little bit. He comes set now from the stretch with nobody on. High leg kick. Here comes the pitch. All there. I wish we had the gun on this one, Zach, because that ball is moving. 0-2 for Hunt here quickly.
He's bumping it. See if he goes right back to that fastball or tries to freeze him again with the breaker.
Yeah, the Mariners haven't really given a reason to show that they'd be on it. Could go to it here. 0-2. The leg kick. Here it comes. And his bat goes flying off the fence. No one got hit by it, but he did still get a piece of it, did Hornung, and he'll get another one here.
That's the nice part of having these big chain link fences here at Whitehouse Field. That protected the bleachers because that bat came out hot.
Everyone obviously not hit by that one. Everyone okay. Hornung limited tries now as he gets into the start again. 3 at-bats entering this contest. Had 1 hit up to this point, but none to this part of the contest. There's 1 away in the home half of the 7th for Harwich. 2-0 on the year. Meanwhile, Falmouth trying to find its first win tonight. We'll do the 0-2 again. He goes with the breaking ball, and that one spiked for the first ball of the count. Highfield getting his chest out in front of that one. 1-2.
That's the first ball Casey Hunt's thrown so far, and it's pretty intentional, just trying to get Hornung to chase it, see if he's maybe a little overeager after fouling off the last pitch.
Just carrying over from what the Arms have done at this point for Falmouth through the first 2 games. Now he comes with slowing it down, a changeup over the middle, cut on and missed. Back-to-back swinging strikeouts for Hunt. He's making it look easy out there. 2 gone quickly for Harwich.
That was nasty. Pair of punch-outs on the breaking ball for Hunt, and he is dealing. Coming out of the pen, a couple of SEC arms getting things done so far for Falmouth.
Jacob Humphrey now gets in there. Another appearance for him here. Reached on a walk back in the 3rd. A check swing does not go. Ahead of it now 1-0 is Humphrey in center field tonight. Trying to spark something here in the home half of the 7th. Hunt goes with the fastball, little low, according to your home plate umpire. 2-0 now. Hunt comes set. Pretty quiet evening here as he fires in a fastball for a strike. 2-1 now. Nobody aboard. Hasn't been any offense from Harwich since the 4th inning. Scoring on a ground ball out to Eze over at 3rd. Here comes the pitch. Thought about it. Did Humphrey. Doesn't go on the breaking ball low and away. 3-1 now. May have bought him an opportunity for the fastball, but the Mariners, again, haven't been on him yet here with Casey Hunt. He's looked very, very good in relief of Antoine Jean. Here comes the pitch. Fastball, it's chopped on the ground. It'll go right up the middle. They were on the heater that time. It's a 2-out base runner for the home team.
Very similar start to the inning that Antoine Jean had back in the 5th. Obviously, Hunt with a couple of strikeouts compared to the fly out and the ground out from Jean, but that 2-out, 2-strike single or 2-out deep in the at-bat single there in this time up from Humphrey, but just able to get himself on board, keep the inning alive, but nothing hurt if you're Hunt. You still have 2 outs, 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning.
Now Ali Camarillo steps in there. 0 for 3 on the day, as are many of these Harwich Mariners. First pitch going, and it's a good one to do. It's in the dirt on the fastball. And again, Highfield having a little bit of difficulty staying with that one. That one in his defense, though, was in the dirt.
There was no chance he was getting him on that unless he was able to pick it with the backhand, but that's a really tough play to try and pick a fastball coming that quick out of the dirt on a hop when it bounces that far in front of the plate.
3 stolen bases now today for Harwich, and the big number with Wareham the other day when Highfield was back there. I believe 5 in that contest. Up there today, this one's driven out to deep right center field. Now coming in quickly is Handel. He'll settle and make the play onto his left. So just like that, the stolen base is stranded out there. The Doors hang another 0. We go to the 8th. It's still Falmouth on top. 2-1 here on the Commodores Baseball Network. Last couple set of at-bats for both sides in this one, moving along nicely here in the top of the 8th. 2-3-4 for Falmouth due up. It's Christian Martin leading it off. Looking for his first hit of the day. He reached back on a fielder's choice in the 3rd. First pitch here from Pearson. Again, that unique arm slot working it into the left-handers. This one, though, stays away. 1-0 here to Martin.
I loved what I was seeing there from Martin. It looked like he was taking all the way. Wanted to see how it looked and immediately comes out nodding. And he seems to have found where he's at.
The pitch here from Pearson. This one, same level, but now more inside. That one's in there for a strike. 1-1 now to the Commodores' second baseman. Martin, back in the opener, had that blooper down the left field line that scored 2. Made it a 1-run ball game, and that's where it ended. Pitch here, he swings at it. Same pitch, pretty identical on that fastball inside. It goes straight back.
3 straight heaters, got to think the breaking ball is coming here. But if you're Martin at the plate, you can't go into that mindset. You have to think heater, adjust to the off-speed stuff, especially because it's going to be coming in towards your hands. So if you wait on it, you can try and fist it the other way.
Here it comes from Pearson. High leg kick, pitch breaking away. Maybe looked like a fastball that just never really, we talk about that tail that he has a little bit on, and that one just kind of kept dipping away. 2-2 now.
Was either the heater or maybe that changeup as well
Right.
that could have that kind of fade action to it.
Pearson a look down, and now he will go. The 2-2, swing and a miss. Got Martin swinging on a fastball up and away, and 1 away.
Looked like Martin started to think for that breaking ball and just was a little slow trying to jump to the fastball.
To the credit of the Commodores, though, they haven't really had a lot of strikeouts at this point in the year. That's only the 5th one today. Martin goes down on Ks for the first time tonight, and now Charlie Condon will step in. He had a big base hit back in the 6th to lead it off. He came around to score on it later, and that's where this ball game stands now. Pearson sees him for the first time tonight, gave him that fastball that starts over the middle and just has a little bit of that cutting action to it away to the right-handers. 0-1 to the first baseman out of Georgia. Pearson is set from the stretch. He will go on this one. This one running in to Condon. He leaves it there, 1-1.
Condon just trying to find something he can barrel up. See if he can get a hit here. It's still a pretty warm night. The ball's going to fly decently well now that the wind's died down.
Pearson lets it go. That one's low in the dirt. 2-1 now for Condon.
These guys are college teammates. They've surely seen each other before. So you've got to think that Condon has a mindset and an approach coming up to the at-bat.
A matchup I'm sure they've been looking for and have been texting each other about ahead of it. Here it comes, the pitch way out in front of the slider, and then congratulating him as Horning behind the plate. That's exactly what they were looking for out of the big right-hander.
It's a good pitch. I think you might see it again, or you'll see him try and come that arm side run, try and jam Condon in this count.
3 hits and 11 tries to this point in the summer. Here comes the pitch. This one's ripped on a couple hops to Culpepper. He's got time for a long throw. It's low, but still in time. Fitzgerald able to make the play. 2 gone for the Doors here in order.
Just got that inside fastball there and kind of got around on it, but not enough to really lift it. Just kind of rolled it over to shortstop, and now a big spot for Bandura, finally getting to face a righty.
Bandura not seeing his former teammate. Now against the right-handers you mentioned, advantage to the hitter. Bandura, a base hit that scored a run back in the 1st, and a couple of ground ball outs since. Gets a fastball, outer half, in there for a strike. Pearson has been getting ahead with ease.
Just continuing to fire strikes. That's been such a big point for both of these pitchers for Harwich so far.
Pitchers have been dominating. Here's another effort. It's a changeup low to Bandura. He comes up empty, 0-2, quickly behind here. Harwich trying to just get through it here, trailing by 1, trying to keep it there. And you'd imagine Casey Hunt getting ready to trot back out there for the 8th for Falmouth. Pearson ahead of it, 0-2. Here it comes. Got Bandura to chase a low changeup there. It's thrown a mile into the air. Moving to the right is Culpepper in on the diamond. He'll make the play. The Doors go down in order, needing the defense to hold up on the mound, and we'll see who it is. Will Hunt coming back out. We'll give you a break here on the Commodores YouTube channel. Big part of the order due up for Harwich, still trailing 1. Leading it off, it's a shortstop, Kalen Culpepper, retired the last Commodore to bat there in the top of the 8th. Culpepper has reached all 3 times, 2 walks to begin the ball game, and then a base hit, but he was left at first base back in the 5th. Casey Hunt back out there for the Doors. First pitch fastball stays upstairs to Culpepper.
Wind starting to pick up. The rain is coming to Harwich here, trying to get through these final 3 half innings and get out of here if you're Falmouth.
This one's popped up on the way. Charging in is Condon, now reaching into foul territory. He's got room and makes the play. Good bat to retire there on just 2 pitches. 1 away here in the home half of the 8th.
And a good start. Got to keep things going and keep things moving. The Commodores trying to get out of here and get back to Falmouth with a win.
Kennedy Jones now steps in, a big bat that was active yesterday with those 2 doubles, 2 RBIs in the win against Orleans, but he's been held in check tonight since. Just the 2 walks, so he has reached on base, but he did ground out back to Jean back in the 5th. So no hits yet for Kennedy Jones. A pitch from Hunt, lined foul, screaming towards the bullpen of the Doors. Casey Hunt working ahead now.
All of these arms have been really good for Falmouth the last few days. We talk about it quite a bit, but it's really been the story of the season so far.
Breaking ball in the dirt. Hunt kind of lost his footing there on the delivery. 1-1 now with 1 away. A .357 hitter, a 1.043 OPS. Very capable of doing damage with his bat. Also drove in 44 runs to boot at UNCG. This one popped up foul over the press box here at Harwich. And again, Hunt, he's been used to it now in his first appearance for the Doors this season. Ahead, working quickly, a ball and 2 strikes. We've seen him go to the breaking ball, but it's been his pounding fastball that he's retired some batters with. We'll see what he calls here. The pitch, it's slow, and ahead of it there is Jones, foul, screaming towards the bullpen.
One Jones almost took out another. It's Jalen Jones up and throwing for Harwich in the pin. The Ohio State Buckeye getting loose potentially to come in for the 9th.
Could expect to see him in that final inning, as you mentioned, Zach. Hunt, again, because of that, will do the 1-2 once again. Went with the hook that time. He goes with it again here. Got a check swing out of Jones, and yes, he did. He did go. It was a late check by Highfill over to first base, and they get the call. It's a strikeout for the Commodores. 2 gone here in the home 8th.
Harwich crowd may disagree, but it was really close, and that's a really good angle down at first base from James Fonseca to be able to see that. He's got the best angle of anybody in the house and makes the call right away.
Strikeout number 3 for Casey Hunt. He's come in and done damage there on the mound for the Commodores. Goes with the breaking stuff here, and the throwback from Highfill actually caught the helmet of Fitzgerald in the box. May have caught him in on the face. He steps out and takes his helmet off, and Ross immediately apologized. You don't want to see that. He looks to be okay, though. And again, a gentleman's move here. The home plate umpire wiping off the dirt on the plate. Gives Fitzgerald time to reorganize his equipment and get back in the box. 1-0 here to the first baseman of Harwich. This one's a strike in there. Commodores have been moving along nicely here ever since Hunt came in. Jean was moving well, too. Ever since Dorsey left the ball game, it's been relatively smooth sailing for this pitching group. Breaking ball in their front door, and again ahead of it 1-2. Trying to retire the side in order is Casey Hunt. Still 2-1 Commodores. Home 8 here for Harwich. But the Doors looking for their first win on the season. Hunt comes set. He now delivers, goes with the heater, and just barely did Fitzgerald get a piece of that one to go straight back.
He was behind on that pitch. Hadn't seen the heater in a couple of pitches and was thinking that he had seen the breaking ball a bunch. Just could not get the hands to it quick enough. Put it in play, but got a piece of it, stays alive. Spoils a pretty good pitch from Hunt.
Harwich trying to get back into this one. 1-4-3 reads their line. 3 errors for the home team here. Breaking ball in the dirt. Actually ricocheted off the plate and into the home plate umpires' protective equipment. 2-2 with 2 gone here in the 8th.
We've seen Hunt spike that pitch a few times in this inning, trying to get himself back together, fire a pitch here that can be competitive. Try and get Fitzgerald to chase something if you do go out of the zone.
Looking for the sign from Highfield. Now he comes set and goes. It's a high breaking ball and in and out of the glove of Highfield. So from 1-2, now the count is full. You'd hate to put a man on here. Seaver King's on deck. He came around to score after a base hit, a stolen bag, and then a balk from Dorsey. Casey Hunt wanted a new baseball there. He spiked one.
And he got a new one after he spiked it and didn't like it. So he needed a different new one. And we'll see if it pays off here on this 3-2.
Well, true or not, often the time you'll see the pitchers after a bad pitch make it look like it was the baseball's fault and not themselves. Full count pitch gave him the heater. This one's lined, approaching the gap. It's cut off by Handel. It'll be a 2-out base hit to right center. And now the tying run is aboard. The go-ahead run in the box for Harwich. A 2-out knock extends the inning.
Fastball over the heart of the plate, was trying to blow it by him, and Fitzgerald caught up to it and sent it right back into center field. Now it's time to go.
We told you about Seaver King. He's in there now, 1 for 3 today. Big base runner ahead. That's Fitzgerald, who's now aboard. So we've seen Harwich try to be aggressive with a couple stolen bags. And there is looks to be a new base runner now in place of Hunter Fitzgerald.
Eric Arado out of Northern Illinois.
Third baseman from Wingate, number 25, Seaver King.
And that'll bring in Seaver King. So Arado now takes over at first. First pitch here from Hunt in there for a strike. Now you got speed out there on base. Pretty big part of this ball game. From the stretch, he's got to go quickly. They are stealing. It's popped up on the hit and run foul over our heads here in our makeshift broadcast booth here at Harwich. So now you know what they're planning, but it's 0-2 with Hunt ahead. And while you do want to keep tags on Arado, you can get it done here, though, at the plate.
You can. You're just one pitch away. You don't want to worry too much about the guy on the base paths. Just focus on getting the hitter out and on to your next one.
It's Eric Arado in there now from Northern Illinois. Swiped 26 bags this past season, so good reason to go to him in this situation. He's going again, way out in front of the breaking ball. Highfield's got to go down and throw it. He will. The throw's a good one to Condon, leaning over inside the bag, and the Commodores avoid the trouble there. Scoreless frame for Harwich as that trend has continued. We go to the ninth. It's still Falmouth on top. 2-1 here on the Commodores Radio Network.
Catcher from Mississippi State.
Top of the ninth, getting ready to go here on the road at Whitehouse Field. The Doors trying to get some insurance before going to the bottom half of this inning. Couple of changes. Eric Arado now out there in right. That moves Scrannell down to first base for Fitzgerald, whose day is over. That's what the infield and the outfield looks like now for the Mariners, still trailing by a run. A 1-0 count here to Ross Highfield, the catcher for the Commodores tonight. Had a base hit last time for an RBI He pulled it on a line down the left field line. And that has still stood where we are right now. Way out of ahead on that slider, bending away. He has a chuckle on his face after that one. 1 ball, 1 strike to Highfill. Will Pearson still out there now for a 3rd inning of work for Harwich. No reason not to have him out there. He's rolled along very nicely here. The 1-1's a slider away in the dirt. Hitters count here for Highfill. Hasn't really gotten the heater since that first one, but with how he swung on those 2 breaking balls, you might as well keep the trend going. We'll see what Pearson goes with here. It's a fastball inside of the backstop of Falmouth, and he's ahead of it now 3-1.
That hit for Highfill earlier in the game kept him alive in the race to see who can get a hit in every game so far for Falmouth. There's only 2 guys, it's Highfill and Condon, that each have hits in all 3 games.
Another one here wouldn't be a bad idea. 3-1. Ouch. That one off of Highfill. He fouled it back to himself. May have caught him in on the knee, I think, and now he's taking his time to get up. And again, the umpire, nice gentleman's gesture here by the backstop. Hornung going out to talk to his arm to give Ross Highfill a chance to shake that one off.
And the Commodores do have a catcher on the bench here tonight in Austin Kelly, but it looks like Highfill's going to remain in the game, and that's a good thing to see.
Absolutely. He's been very consistent with his bat.
1 for 3 in all 3 games so far.
Absolutely right.
If he works a walk, that would be 3 straight games at 1 for 3.
2-run shot yesterday, leapfrogged Falmouth over Bourne, down 1-0, changed that to 2-1, and ultimately ended in a 3-3 tie yesterday at the Gov. Now on the road for the first time this year. Breaking ball, thought about it. Did he go? No, he did not, and Highfill on the full count. He knew it. He checked his swing on the slider away, and it's a leadoff base runner for the Doors.
He had already tossed the bat by the time the signal was made that he didn't go, so he would have had to pick it up had he went around, but he was pretty sure that he held up, and he'll get on. An insurance run here is so big because it makes the pitcher feel a little more relaxed, allows them to not think one mistake pitch and the game's tied. They can just settle in and throw their stuff.
First pitch here to Handle, fastball up and away. The Doors, we talked about looking for their first win tonight. Right now in the basement of the West Division through the youth part of this season to this point. Pearson now goes. It's a fastball cutting into the left-hander in there for a strike. A ball and a strike now to the center fielder of Falmouth. Handle 1 for 3, picked up his first hit on the summer through 3 games back in his last appearance, or check that, back in the 4th. Looked like a changeup there. They just kind of stayed away. And Handle now 2-1. He's got a hitter's count situation here.
We mentioned yesterday with him, once he gets one, I think the floodgates are going to open. He got that hit earlier. We'll see if he can keep that momentum going.
This one, fastball stayed away, and now Hornung will come out a little bit to talk verbally while he's throwing the baseball back to Pearson. 3-1 now. Fell behind 3-1 to Highfill. It's allowed the Doors here to maybe gain some sort of momentum here on the bases. 3-1 count. It's a hitter's count here to Handle. Pearson goes from the stretch. Really awkward swing there with one hand on the finish from Handle. It looked like he just never had a shot at that pitch breaking away.
You don't love that 3-1. In that spot, you're normally looking for one pitch in one spot that you can really drive, and that pitch maybe looked like it to start, but it certainly wasn't at the end.
The pitch here, and he was not ready for the fastball. Cut on and missed. Pretty poor last 2 pitches there from Handle. He goes down swinging in a situation where you could have had 2 on, nobody out. Now there's 1 away, with Highfill still put at first. So that'll bring in Eze now. The first pitch coming from Pearson. That slow changeup taking its time to get in there to the right-hander, in there for a strike. Eze 2 strikeouts swinging in consecutive appearances, and then he grounded out to the second baseman back in the 2nd inning. Looking for his first hit tonight. Highfill gets checked back at first. He dives in plenty of time in there safely. Again, the Doors looking for that bit of insurance here. 2-1 the score. Falmouth 5 hits tonight. They had 5 yesterday in the tying effort. Another check back from Pearson, though, as we say that. Just making sure Highfill is not going to go. We haven't seen him break yet, but being the catcher of this group, not really all that seen too often. Highfield is going, though, as I say that. The throw on the way is thrown a mile over the head of the second baseman. It goes into the outfield. A quick cover, though, by Humphrey getting in there to back up the play. It's a stolen base for Ross Highfield, and now with one away, there's a runner on second.
And just like we all thought, your Falmouth Commodores stolen base leader to this point is Ross Highfield with a pair of them.
He's got 2 now, as you mentioned, on the season. And more importantly, has set up a man in scoring position. Highfield really doing it all offensively with all these RBIs, the hits in consecutive games. He swipes his second on the summer. He had 2 this year in his freshman campaign at Mississippi State. Meanwhile, that's the 3rd swinging strikeout for Michael Eze. That slider breaking away. 2 gone now with a runner on second for Falmouth.
And that's the 5th strikeout out of the bullpen for Will Pearson. He's been really, really good for Harwich.
So Tucker Bivin will step in. He looked at one for a called 3rd strike and a 1-2 count back in the 7th. He's got a chance here for a big spot. He's a bullpen guy also as a hitter, so he knows what it's like to get the extra help from your bats. He could do it right here. Slider in on the outside part of the plate for a strike. Pearson, again, continues to quickly work and work well to this point. Pearson, a couple looks up and down. Now he goes. This one's hit on the ground of the second baseman. With time, Camarillo makes the play. Falmouth strands Highfield at second, and they'll have to hope that this 2-1 lead will hold for 3 more outs. The Doors have a chance to close the door and get their first win of the season. We'll see how this goes down on the other side of the break here on the Commodores YouTube channel. Casey Hunt staying out there for another inning for the Commodores. This will be his 3rd of work. It'll be a really long 9-out save opportunity here for KC. Looked really good so far. You mentioned the strikeouts earlier, and he's going up against 7, 8, 9.
And a good spot, but a pair of lefties up for Harwich against Casey Hunt. This is close to the first part of where he started his outing. He started against Lavari and Hornung, dispatched of both of them with strikeouts.
Scannell's the first one to greet him here in the 9th inning. The first pitch in there for a strike. Scannell, a couple pop-outs, but in the 4th inning, had the ground ball out to Charlie Condon that brought in the only run of the game for the hometown Harwich Mariners. Here, this one's chopped a breaking ball towards the Falmouth dugout, and Hunt again quickly ahead, 0-2. 0-1-1 on the season are the Commodores, and we look around the rest of the division. Katuitt found a way to win. They're now 3-0 on the season. So Falmouth trying to keep pace here with a chance to win. The pitch here, did he go? A late check by Highfield. Yes, he did. So it's been 2 tries in a row on those late checkdowns on the check swings, and it's a good thing Highfield's done them because that's another big strikeout for Casey Hunt.
That's a massive one. Gets himself started well, and then 2 guys that he looked very comfortable against his first time facing them.
And that's interesting, Zach, because if he doesn't check there, third base umpire is not going to go out of his way to say, yes, he did go. So you have to be the one to initiate the verdict. And we got one there. 2 for 2 are the Commodores in those late calls. It's now Laveri, 0 for 3 here in the bottom part of the order. You got a fastball up on the first pitch, left it there. And Casey Hunt has continued to shove here in his first appearance for the Commodores. Just finished up his senior season, or getting ready for that, excuse me, with Mississippi State.
He's been up and down for the Bulldogs, but he's shown flashes, and that's why he was drafted last year by the Pirates. He's really got good stuff.
Hunt has done a lot of laundry in his relief efforts. Not really a 1 to 2 inning kind of guy. His last outing, career high 8 strikeouts in 4 2/3. Now he's going to fire a breaking ball in here on the outside. 1-2 from Hunt now, and he's looking for the second out of the inning here.
And he's keeping that momentum going. He's already got 5 Ks so far through 2 1/3 in his 2023 debut for the Commodores.
You got to remember, too, Mississippi State battery going right now with Highfield being back there. The pitch here's a fastball away. Good take there in the box from Laveri. And the count is evened up at 2.
Got to think that increases the comfort level for Hunt, too. Coming out, got the nerves to start the new summer season on the Cape, and you've got a guy that you've already thrown to plenty of times back behind the dish.
The 2-2 on the way. Swing and a miss. Given the fastball down the middle. Cut on empty, and the Commodores 1 out away from their first win of the season.
6 punch-outs now for Casey Hunt. The work that Antoine Jean and Casey Hunt have done out of the bullpen, if they can finish that off, that has to be the story for Falmouth tonight.
So last chance for Harwich is Jackson Hornung, the catcher, in the 9th spot. 2 strikeouts and a pop-up to Condon, and another heater here right down Broadway, and ahead of the count again is the right-hander out of Mississippi State. Hunt's been using the powerful fastball to put hitters away just as much as the breaking ball. You mentioned the 6 punchies for him today. Gave him a breaking ball here. It's thrown a mile into the air, foul behind us. And just like that, Casey Hunt and the Commodores 1 strike away from their first win on the summer. The Falmouth crowd not really getting into it here visiting Whitehouse Field, but a big opportunity nonetheless. Hunt looking for it, shakes off Highfield. Now he's set from the waist. The kick and the pitch. It's a breaking ball, spiked. Good waist pitch, 1-2.
You can use that as a setup as well. He's had a lot of success with that fastball. It's got good carry through the zone. We'll see if he tries to elevate one, throw one just a touch above the letters and see if he can get Hornung to chase.
He's done it several times. Long wait for the call from Highfield, and now waist high does Hunt come set. The leg kick and the pitch. It's another breaking ball. He wanted to do that one again. It was a tempter. And staying honest up there is Jackson Hornung. The count's even to 2.
And that's got late break, too, so it starts like it's going to be belt high, and then it just straight drops. As a hitter, you really have to look at that spin, and a good job by Hornung to pick up the spin, recognize it was going to drop, and lay off it.
Now you've got to throw a strike. 2-2, 2 fun pitches to waste. Here it comes on the way. Fastball out of the glove of Highfield. And I think because of that, that's why this count moves to full. That looked like it was a borderline strike 3.
It did. It's a tough angle from where we're at to see the edge of the plate, but that was real close.
Well, the breaking balls in this at-bat were used as balls. You could try to hang one here. I think it's risky, though. The kick and the pitch chopped to shortstop. On the back end is Keelan. He's got a long throw. A pick is needed. Not in time. Very, very close. And the game-tying run is on first base for Harwich.
That would have been a spectacular play from Gavin Keelan, moving away from first base into shallow left field and trying to throw that all the way across the diamond to get Hornung, who's not the fastest guy, but isn't slow either, and able to get things going. And now they'll pinch run a speedy runner in Ryan Wilson.
Yep, there is a base runner coming on. It's Ryan Wilson, as you mentioned. And now, not only is the tying run aboard, the game-winning run in the box here for the home team, Harwich. Now you got to go out of the stretch, does Hunt. First pitch is a fastball low and away. And that will bring in now to the top of the order, Jacob Humphrey. So the Commodores were a strike away. Now some more work to do here in this 9th inning as Harwich not going down quietly just yet in their last chance here with 2 out. In the bottom of the 9th, Hunt comes set, now he goes. Breaking ball, cut on and missed. 1-1 now.
Really good slide piece there to get himself back in the count against Humphrey. Humphrey singled after getting ahead in the count on him earlier back in the 7th. We'll see if Hunt can win this battle.
Hunt comes set, got to work quickly with all that speed on first base. He goes with the fastball on the outer half. And once again, the Commodores in the same spot they were in last at-bat, 1 strike away from their first win in this Cape season of 2023.
Got to finish hitters. Hunt's been real good at it so far. Can he finish one more?
The bullpen has continued to look fantastic through 3 games for the Doors. Can Hunt be the last one here to have the last nail in the coffin defensively? The pitch on the way. Fastball got him looking. Strike 3 called. And the Commodores are victorious for the first time this summer.
7 punch-outs for Casey Hunt. Picks up 3 of them in the bottom of the 9th. A pitcher's duel that lasts just over 2 hours and 20 minutes. And Falmouth gets to 3 points, moves up into 3rd so far in the West Division.
Only took 2 runs of offense, but the pitching again has been the story of this team's success. And the Doors yesterday earned the tie. They get a win today and improve to 3 points in the standings. And a big victory for this team now to build some momentum moving forward here on the road.
Back home tomorrow against YD, a chance to continue that momentum against the YD team that also got its first win of the season tonight. Something's going to give tomorrow, and you got to feel good about how this team has looked going back to the Gov.
What an effort here defensively. It was Ross Highfield's base hit down the third base line that made it 2-1, and that's where it stood for the Commodores. And the rest of the way, Falmouth able to do a job and win this one on the road about 45 minutes east of Falmouth, getting it done on the road. And a great effort nonetheless for the Commodores, and a great effort defensively with the bullpen. And now we're going to bring in our 3rd member, Destiny Sanchez. Destiny, what do you have?
Thanks, Matt. What was important for Falmouth tonight to get this first win? It was a struggle, especially in the first game, is maintaining that lead. A combination of smart pitching and tight defense. The Doors were more careful later in the game with limiting runners on base. Another difference, you compare the amount of errors on the board. No errors by Falmouth, but 3 by Harwich. Those mistakes can be game changer when it comes to highly competitive games like these on the Cape.
Destiny, thank you for that. Yes, I mean, when you think about it, the Commodores only needed 4 hits tonight, Zach, to get the victory. Their line read 2-4-0. I think the 0 there at the very, very end, Zach, is probably the most important part of this entire game, nonetheless, the strikeouts from the bullpen.
It is. It was massive. The defense was really good, but honestly, the punch-outs late in this game, I mean, you look at the numbers again, 10 strikeouts between the 3 pitchers today, 7 of them coming from Casey Hunt out of the bullpen, but just able to get things done and find a way to get in the win column, and that's the most important thing.
That's the most important part, as you mentioned. The Commodores are going to get the win. And a great effort, in an effort that the Mariners out-hit the Doors tonight, 1-6-3. That 3, though, that's probably the biggest part. I mean, there are a couple runs left out there, no doubt about it.
Well, and Falmouth manufactured that go-ahead run. It was Charlie Condon finding his way on base with a single, moves up on the soft ground ball from Bandura, and then after that, you get the stolen base that sets up the RBI single. And it was a big-time play there. Charlie Condon and Ross Highfield finding ways to steal bags in that inning. A couple stolen bags for Ross Highfield. He continues to impress as he finds himself with another hit through 3 games. He's gotten a hit in each game, just continuing to make a mark in the middle of this Commodores order.
So with all that said, the Commodores improved to 1-1-1 on the young year. 3 points now in the standings out of the West Division. And on the other side, Harwich falling for the first time this season, 2-1-0 reads their line. With the Doors getting an opportunity tomorrow to be above 500, they'll take on YD back at the Gov. You'll be able to see it on TV, with us bringing it to you on the television instead of the radio. But the first time being on the road, the Doors on the radio on the road tonight. Got it done at Whitehouse Field in Harwich. 2-1 the final. We want to say thank you for tuning into the broadcast tonight. A great win for the Commodores. We will see you tomorrow at the Gov for YD and Falmouth. Have a great night, everybody.